Hey there, neighbors and naysayers. April 15th, it's tax day. I didn't even think about that. Um, so, this is going out to celebrate the theft that we all have to endure and hopefully the money we get back. Just a little bit of humor there. Um, Again, just a couple days. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, about 10 days in maybe now to grazing 2026. Hopefully the wind's not getting me. It's at this point that the sheep start really looking better. Like they've been through it. There's still some poopy butts, but other than that, they're starting to get better and get used to the grass going through their system. Cows aren't out yet, still on bale grazing. But just thought I'd stop and take a. It's pretty when the sheep are all just starting to slick off, and then halfway through they look like dogs with a mange, and then once they're slicked off, then they all look good again too. But I was just noticing, for a commercial sheep flock, how much my livestock judging mind is happy. Not that these would win a show in any way, but from a commercial standpoint, we have a sheep flock that is built for speed when it comes to commercial. Um, Man, I didn't realize how close we're getting to lambing too. But that ewe right there must be carrying like quads or quintuplets. Jesus, he's huge. Um, and we're that way with the cattle too. Kind of a bad night. We had a mishap in the hog barn. I've been up all night. Had a gilt that somehow got in with a boar that wasn't old enough to breed, and the gilt wasn't old enough to breed, and she got bred, and so we've been working on her, and so far so good. Looks like she's gonna make it through okay, but just not an ideal situation to be up all night and doing those things. But that's agriculture. Farmers are eternal optimists, and we'll just get them in better luck next time. It's what we're always working for with the hog part of things. Is being a commercial herd that has some competitiveness in the show ring for the kids. And of course, this is fair pig time for us, and here I am in the sheep flock talking about hogs, but it's fair pig time for us, so we're constantly selling pigs to kids for projects. And I don't sell them as show pigs, I sell them as project pigs. We are competitive. Ethan's won a couple classes in the past few years with just our pigs, so we're happy with that. But outside of that, our pigs have to live and go, and so do our sheep, and so do our cattle. And really, that's something on the forefront of my mind right now is gain. We're going to take some forage samples probably tomorrow because we want to turn in and see what we're doing as far as gain goes. Ethan's show cow has put everything she's got into her calf, and she's thin, and I need to make sure that she's going to gain enough weight back by fair time to look decent for him to be able to take and show. Outside of that, that's kind of what just a pretty night, and I got some downtime to stop and take a video. We are on portable water at this point, unless it gets too cold. Well, then we shut this water off. It's kind of why we hold the cows in just a little bit longer. Although I guess part of the reason too is grabbing this video is this field is behind what the next field they're going to. The next field they're going to is probably already 6 or 8 inches, and we haven't even made it 10 days into a rotation yet. So we got lots and lots of grass ahead of us. In fact, when I get done with this video, I got to calculate. We've been giving them 5 posts, which is 32 foot per post, 263 feet for 40 ewes and 60 growing lambs. I think I probably need to reduce that down to 4 posts moving into the next move, and maybe by the time I get there, probably less than that, because there's going to be a whole bunch of growth. After that, I started last video Y grazing in preparation for our pasture walk coming up here next Thursday at the Klein Ranch up there in Richmond, Ohio. Check out the Eastern Ohio Grazing Council Facebook page for details. But why grazing? Why grazing tonight? When I got home tonight after having a long night and kind of down, my dad meets me in the driveway, said, "We got a problem." And I said, "Why?" And he said, "I got oil coming out of the turbo of the tractor that just came home from the repair shop last year at the beginning of hay time, and now all of a sudden that tractor is going to be down again because it's blowing oil out of the turbo." And so how does that relate to Y grazing? The Y grazing here is I do everything I do with this beat up 2019 four-wheeler. Yes, we have a side-by-side, but I don't need it except for to haul the boys around. I want to get to a life where we can make that work. We either need to do that, or we need to be in the hay business where we're making money on hay. where we need to be in the crop business, I mean, is agriculture. In the crop business where we can afford to pay for tractors, but that stuff needs to all be written into what we're doing. The tractor is just nickel, and it's just the newness of the tractor. We had a New Holland before this, McCormick. We had a John Deere before that. None of them new by any stretch of the imagination. We talked today that tractor is a 2014, so it's getting there. 12 years. But as opposed to that, our other two tractors are 72 and 69 and still running strong, other than some minor dings and dents and things you have to change now and then. And the newness of the equipment is causing it to fail a whole lot more. I mean, the last repair bill on that tractor was exactly what we paid for the tractor 3 or 4 years earlier. So, why grazing? Because it limits my equipment need. I don't need all that equipment. I hope someday when the boys get bigger and I get more time and I can depend on them to do a little bit more for themselves, I hope someday to sit down and write a book. And it's going to be on a closed loop grazing system. And I know this is the working title. I got a million working titles, but one of those closed loops is how to get the equipment out of our grazing systems. That's where we're going to be profitable. You can't get the equipment out of haymaking. You can't get the equipment out of crop production. Although for our version of haymaking for livestock, I think we could do with a whole lot less and still get by. I've got some ideas on that, but we have to make a decision, and it's going to come up pretty fast. Dad's 74. He ain't going to be around forever. The moment he is no longer here or can no longer do, we have to decide, are we going to be in the hay business? Are we going to go back in the crop business? Or are we going to be out of the equipment business altogether? And I don't know. I mean, I lean toward out of the equipment business altogether, but I don't know what the answer is going to be. Mostly because I don't know what the boys' interests are going to be. If one of them would come to me and tell me they want to pull the corn planter out of the shed and start regeneratively planting corn and soybeans and other corn grain crops, I wouldn't be opposed to that. I mean, if they want to figure that out and do it, that's fine. I'll buy all the grain they'll make for our hog operation, but we just need to, in agriculture, and it's not just that equipment, I guess, it's also grazing equipment. Stu and I had a conversation yesterday about fence posts. You can see I use these cheapo Tractor Supply fence posts. They're $2 a piece. I just can't justify a $7 fence post. I don't care how much I can rebuild it. I don't care how much I can fix it. When I can buy a post for $2 and it's going to last me, I can't justify a $7 fence post. And I especially can't justify a $7 fence post in a world where I think we're all going to be in the virtual fence world in 2 or 3 years. Would I like to have a $7 fence post? I sure would. I can't justify it. We need to watch our costs in grazing because it can go through. And I just got done with my taxes. I let costs kind of run away from me here this year, just because we had some good things happen, and I made sure that we invested them back into the farm. You can't really see it in places, but I know we invested it. So it was a rough year to go see the tax guy, but we need to keep a handle on those expenses, and the biggest of which is that equipment. And we got to figure out a way to stamp some of it out. We, as in us grazers. With that, I'll say we'll see you next time.